Um, could could you please not act that way? All right, enough of that shit. Okay, like that just didn't feel good at all. Today on Contractor Fight TV, we're going to dig into the idea that if you're too nice as a contractor, it's hurting your business and hurting your bank account. And we're going to talk about how to not be a pushover. Let's go. All right, I saw a post the other day. It said, let me read it here. I've worked on this job for 6 weeks and they haven't paid me for 3 weeks. And he goes on to share the story that he got a deposit on the job and then he had payment terms, at a certain point on the job where he was supposed to collect more money. And then he's jumping on Facebook whining like a little baby bitch going, "You haven't paid me." Or there's another guy here. "My guys don't do their paperwork and I don't know how we did on that job." That's what he said when I asked him. I said, how's your job costing going? And he's going, "Well, my guys don't do the work they're supposed to do. They don't fill out their shit." Two main areas I see contractors screw themselves over. And it's in matters of culture and matters of money. So we're going to dig in to both of these here quickly today. All right, culture. I want you guys to think about the company culture that you have. Now, culture, there's a lot of definitions of it, but one of the most helpful ones that's for me through the years has been culture is the result of what I expect and what I tolerate. So just think about that for a minute. If you expect your guys to fill out timesheets and job costing forms and do a checklist at the end of the job, if you expect them to set up the shop area a certain way on a job site, and then you tolerate it when it's not done, you've created on your own single-handedly a culture of fucking chaos. Yet you're going to turn and blame your guys. And a big reason that we do this is because we're too nice. And listen, I'll tell you, I know it's hard to find employees right now. I know it's hard to find the FWs that can actually do the job and this and that. But true winners want to be held accountable. True winners want to have a strong leader. True winners want to be recognized when they kick ass at things. And they want to have a good time and all this other good stuff that we've talked about here. But one of the main reasons we don't stand firm on matters of culture is that we're too afraid of losing guys, or we don't know how to hold them accountable. Guys, you can't be afraid to hold your team accountable. You're the one who's got his name on the building, on the sign, on the truck, and even if it's not your exact name, your name's on the corporation paperwork, okay? Your name's on the bank account. You are the company. And you sign the checks. And this isn't supposed to be some strong arm thing. "Hey, motherfuckers, I signed the check. Do what I want." Don't be that sort of a leader. Okay? But when you go out to a job site, I mean, we just had a guy in one of our 100K coaching group. He was like, had a guy doesn't want to tuck his shirt in. Doesn't want to tuck his shirt in. Doesn't want to tuck his shirt in. Okay? And he's like, "I got to stop allowing this. I don't know how to get him to tuck his shirt in." Okay? Well, long story short, he treated him like a man. And he said, "Hey, listen, we got a policy here that we got to tuck our shirts in on the job site. And here's why." Okay, this is about our brand. This is about us sending a message of who we are as a company. And when we look sharp, it helps us to get more work. And he went on to explain in a very mature and direct manner for this employee, came back to the job the next day, guy's shirt was tucked in. Okay, guys, that's what it looks like in a healthy way to not tolerate some things. Whatever you expect, you got to tolerate. Don't let fear hold you back. Okay, sack up and lead. That's it. Sack up and lead. Now, if you don't know how to hold your people accountable, I have found, because we've all been frustrated with our people. They won't fucking turn in their time cards. They won't do this. They won't. Sit down and explain the context of why this is important. Now, some of you old guys, I'm 50, some of the guys our age are like, "Well, back in the day, nobody had to explain why to me. I just did my damn job." Okay? I mean, I think back, days in sports and stuff, a coach would say, "Run through the wall." You go, "Okay." Nowadays, you go, "Run through the wall." And we're like, "Well, why? And, how's this going to benefit me in the future?" Like it or not, the day and age that we're in right now, You need to explain the context for people. They need to have some buy-in. They need to understand how this is going to impact them, what's in it for them, right, in the future. And so I find, just, guys, put your ego aside, push the anger aside, and just, so when I say don't tolerate stuff, doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it. Okay? Explain the context. Another way that you can enforce the expectations that you have in your culture is simply by rewarding the behavior you want more of. I'm telling you right now, if your big thing is the clean job site, you walk onto the job site and whoever's working there in this area and it looks really nice and clean, you pull out a $10 or $20 bill and hand it to them, or you recognize them in the company meeting that week, give them a gift card for gas or something. You recognize the behavior you want more of, you're going to get more of that, and it's going to be easy to enforce these things that you're having a hard time, holding up in your company right now. All right, second matter that we're often too nice and getting taken advantage of is matters of money. There's a lot of stuff with this money angle, guys. A lot of it is between our ears, and it's from our upbringing, right? Money's a taboo subject. We're a chicken shit in the sales process. When it comes to money, we're too nice in the areas of collections and terms of payment, like I shared at the top of this about the guy who hadn't been paid in several weeks. You have to be able to go into these conversations about finances and money with your customers with confidence. And one of the ways that you do that is you know your numbers. If you don't truly, I find this all the time. When people download our Know Your Numbers spreadsheets and things like that, I'm telling you, or they sit on one of our numbers calls, or like, oh my God, my eyes are open. It's like their balls grow 50 times overnight when they finally realize what it costs them to stay in business and how much money they're not making. In matters of money, stop being too nice in sales. Okay, number one, it's not your job to find the client's money. You know what it takes to do the project right. Don't be bullied around by people that are going, well, that's way over our budget. Bullshit. You know what it takes. You know what it takes to stand behind it. You know what it takes to do it in a safe manner, because you got work comp to pay for, you got your taxes to pay for, you got your overhead and all that stuff, and you need to be making money too. So don't be a puss when it comes to the sales process. I mentioned earlier, we're also too nice in collections. They signed an agreement with you that they would pay you money. And it might be on the last day of the job, it might be progress payments, whatever. I find that most contractors, because they're chicken shit to talk about money, the contractor is the one that doesn't honor their own damn terms. And I've done it, I've been there. I mean, I'm like, man, we got this big job going on, whatever, it's a couple week job, it's gonna be, $60,000 or whatever, and we got our deposit, and then once this was done, we need to collect more money. I remember way back in the early days of this, when I was just a mess upstairs in my head, feeling guilty or weird or fearful that I had to go approach the customer and go, hey, we're at this point now, it's time for another payment. It's time for a progress payment. Or on the last day of the job, if I had a nickel, if I had a nickel for every contractor that said to me, yeah, I don't do a good job of collecting my money when the job is done. So guys, this is not on the customer. This is on us being too nice when it comes to collecting our money. If they have not honored the payment terms, then you need to stop working on the job. That's another big thing here. Guys get into trouble because they keep working on the job, yet they don't have the money coming in. Now they're going into debt. Now their finances are a wreck and it's a big mess. So listen, you don't have to be a dick in your culture or with the money here, but you do need to advocate for yourself. And one of the ways that I think that you could come strong out of the gate with this is to unify your team right away. We got a cool download. It's a free download for you guys. Go to thecontractorfight.com/meetings, and you can download a list of the meetings you should be having, the topics, and all this other stuff to help you bring your team together, unify them, and create a stronger culture, which will in turn lead to you making more money. You guys rock. I got to roll. We'll see you next time.